Hello, my name is Tommy Hilliard, and this is the official podcast for the Online News Association at the University of South Florida, St. Petersburg. We are here covering the ACES 2018 National Conference in Chicago, Illinois. As gender roles are becoming more equal in the professional world, many editing companies are either equal or women-dominated. At BuzzFeed, Megan Paolone explains how her team and BuzzFeed as a whole have slightly more women in the field.
So my team is a mix. My team specifically is men and women. I think there are more women than men. There's 4 women, 2 men on my team. But BuzzFeed as a whole is pretty evenly split. I think our newsroom is maybe slightly more women, and BuzzFeed as a whole is definitely slightly more women.
Courtney Rukan, Deputy Multi-Platform Editing Chief at the Washington Post, shares how her publication has become more gender neutral and more diverse.
We're very balanced. We used to be a female-heavy desk, and then we, through some attrition and some hiring, we're more of a balance now. We like to look for balance in every way we hire. We like to have gender balance. We like to look for diversity on our desk, and we're always on the lookout for people who can make our desk better and smarter and bring different points of view to what we do, because the more points of view you can have in a newspaper, the better you're going to be.
Young women are increasingly becoming more interested in the journalism and editing profession. Here is some advice from Megan Paolone.
I think the best thing to do is just try a bunch of different stuff, and don't be afraid to tout your accomplishments. No one else is going to do it for you. You have to be your own best advocate.
Don't limit yourself. Don't assume you're not going to you're not going to get a job. Don't assume anything, negative. I would also, encourage women to make connections. If you have a professor in school who is a journalist in some way, make sure that that professor knows that you're interested in getting into the field one day, and then regularly check in with somebody, because you never know what kind of connections you're going to make. Another thing I would say is never burn a bridge, because you don't know if you're in the industry for 20 years and somebody else has gotten out that you used to work with, and maybe then you want to get out and you call that person up and say, hey, I'm interested in doing something else. So you always want to make connections. You don't want to burn any bridges, and check in regularly. Don't assume that somebody doesn't have enough time to just send you an email. You might want to give them a couple of weeks, because newsrooms are busy places, but never feel like you're putting someone out if somebody genuinely says, hey, let's stay in touch.
Said Courtney Rukan, sharing how important making connections are in this industry. Always advocate for yourself, says Robin Hartill, senior editor at the Penny Hoarder. She shares that women need to step up and not be afraid to show off their accomplishments.
I guess I would just say, make sure you advocate for yourself. The advice is kind of, you've probably heard this advice before, but, make sure you negotiate your salary. A lot of times women don't like to, talk about their accomplishments, but make sure that your boss is aware of what you're doing every single day. Don't be afraid to say no, and just show what you're worth. You might not have a lot of room to negotiate, when you're an entry-level journalist, but as you accomplish things, as you do great work, make sure that you show others that you did that great work, and take ownership of it.
Samantha Enslen, the president of Dragonfly Editorial, suggests 2 ideas she thinks young women should remember when beginning the editing profession.
So for new people coming into the field, I'd say a couple of things. One is that a lot of great editors start out as people who are voracious readers and who love to read. They love the written word and they enjoy the English language. That's awesome, but that does not automatically make you a good editor. So if you want to make that leap, you really do need to seek out professional training, whether it's classes, webinars, workbooks, taking a certificate program somewhere, getting a degree somewhere. You really do need to put in the time to learn the craft of editing, because it's an entirely different skill set than just being able to, quote, write naturally. The other thing I would say is that get practice and experience wherever you can. Write for your local church paper. Edit something for your local animal rescue organization. Find a way to start working with words in whatever capacity you have. And then based on that experience, you'll be able to grow from there.
Read, 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 write, write, write.
Those are some key words to remember, according to Sarah Gray, the founder of Gray Editing. She suggests more women to speak up, showcase their talents, and to not take disrespect on the job.
Really find your own voice and don't be afraid to use it. You absolutely, you have an amazing talent. You deserve to be respected for it, and you should not have to put up with harassment or disrespect on the job.
I would like to thank all the speakers from the conference who came and spoke with me. That concludes the podcasts for the 2018 ACES conference in Chicago, Illinois. I hope you all enjoyed, and thank you for listening.